My child, be still for a moment and truly listen, because I am about to walk you through something you have never fully understood before. I am going to open your eyes to the times I reached toward you. 7 specific moments when heaven stretched out its hand in your direction. 7 carefully placed interruptions, each one designed with a single purpose: to redirect you, to cover you, to call you back before it was too late. You did not turn away from those moments because your heart did not care. You turned away because you did not recognize what they were. You looked at each of those moments and saw something random, something frustrating, something painful. But what you were actually looking at was me, calling your name in the only language the moment allowed. You were buried under the weight of your own life, overwhelmed, stretched thin, running on empty, uncertain of almost everything. And in that state, my voice blended into the noise around you. But now, the 7th moment has passed, and that is exactly why I am speaking today, with a directness and an urgency that I need you to receive with your whole heart. My beloved child, the first time I reached toward you, it came as a quiet internal pull that you spent considerable effort trying to explain away. You felt it, that inexplicable nudge deep in your spirit, a gentle but persistent tug that told you something needed to change, a feeling that arrived without announcement and refused to be entirely dismissed. It spoke in the language of unease, whispering that the road you were on was not quite right, that something ahead required your attention, that pausing would serve you better than pressing forward. But life around you was moving quickly and loudly, and the pull felt too subtle to justify stopping for. You told yourself it was fatigue. You told yourself it was anxiety. You talked yourself right past it, with perfectly reasonable explanations. But that was not stress speaking to you. That was not your own overthinking. That was my voice, arriving ahead of a danger you had not yet seen forming on the horizon. I could see what your eyes had no access to. I knew what was taking shape, just beyond where you were standing. I moved to position myself between you and what was coming, to get your attention before the storm reached you. But because you did not yet know how to recognize the sound of my voice inside the chaos of your daily life, you kept moving, and the moment passed. The second time I called your name, I did it through a door that closed in your face at a moment when you were completely convinced it was supposed to open. A plan you had invested yourself in suddenly fell apart. Something you had been looking forward to slipped through your fingers without warning. An opportunity you had been counting on disappeared and left nothing in its place but confusion and disappointment. You felt the sting of it. You questioned whether you had done something wrong. You wondered if you were being punished, overlooked, or simply unlucky. You looked at that closed door and felt the heavy weight of rejection sitting on your chest. But my child, that was not rejection. That was rescue, in the form of a barrier. I removed that opportunity before you could walk through it, because I could see where it led. I knew what it would cost you if I allowed you to continue down that road. What looked like a plan falling apart from where you stood looked entirely different from where I stood. I saw the trap waiting for you on the other side of the door. You were so eager to open. I saw the toll it would take on your spirit, your peace, and the direction your life was meant to go. I blocked it because I loved you, but because you could not see what I saw. The barrier felt like a mistake instead of a mercy. The third time I reached toward you was through a dream that found you in the night and left you unsettled when morning came. You woke from it with a strange feeling, sitting heavy in your chest. Something about it felt significant, in a way you could not fully articulate. It carried a weight that followed you into the first moments of your day. You knew somewhere underneath everything that it wasn't simply your mind processing the events of the week. You sensed it was more than that. But the day began pulling at you immediately, and the feeling was easier to set aside than to investigate. You moved back into your routine. The images faded, and by the time the evening came, the dream had become nothing more than a vague memory you no longer trusted to mean anything. But that dream was me, finding the one window when your mind was finally quiet enough for me to speak through. Your waking hours were so full of noise and movement that I could not reach you the way I wanted to. So I came to you in the stillness of sleep, and I showed you things your physical eyes were not equipped to perceive. I was trying to show you the spiritual landscape around your life, the things forming in the unseen places that would eventually show up in the visible ones. But you woke up and ran, and what I was trying to protect you from continued building without your awareness. The fourth time I called you came wrapped in a loss that confused and hurt you deeply. I removed someone from your life, someone whose presence had come to feel necessary to you, someone whose absence created a pain you were not prepared for. You held on as long as you could. You tried to preserve that connection, even as it kept slipping. You grieved it, even as it was still happening. And when it was finally gone, you asked me why. You asked what you had done wrong. You wondered if you were simply not worth staying for. But my child, that separation was not a punishment, and it was not evidence of your unworthiness. I removed that person because I could see what their presence was slowly doing to the deepest parts of you. They were not a bad person, but they were not aligned with the direction your life was built to travel. Their presence was gradually pulling you away from the things that were meant to define you, and toward the things that would have slowly emptied you. You couldn't see the drift because it was gradual and because you cared for them genuinely. But I saw it clearly, and I loved you too much to let it continue. What felt like rejection landing on your heart was actually my hand, gently but firmly moving something out of your path before it could take you somewhere you were never meant to go. The fifth time I called out to you was inside the deepest heartbreak you have ever experienced. The kind that does not announce itself gradually, but arrives all at once and leaves you standing in the wreckage of something that mattered enormously to you. The pain was not polite or manageable. It went into places inside you that had never been touched before, and it broke things open that had been carefully closed for a very long time. You were not sure in those moments whether you would find your way through to the other side. It felt less like a season and more like an ending. But my child, I was not absent from that pain. I was not watching from a distance while you suffered. I was there in the middle of every broken moment. I was in the ache, and in the grief, and in the tears that would not stop. I was present in every moment. You reached toward something solid to hold on to. Because sometimes the pain has to go deep enough that everything else loses its grip on your heart. Sometimes the only thing that can turn a wandering person fully homeward is the collapse of what they were leaning on, instead of leaning on me. Your heartbreak was not abandonment. It was an invitation, delivered in the only way that had any chance of reaching you. In that season, the 6th time I reached toward you, it arrived as a heaviness that settled over your spirit, without any clear explanation attached to it. A pressure that sat on you from the inside. A weight you could not locate the source of, and could not lift, no matter what you tried. You felt it as a kind of spiritual fatigue that sleep did not touch. You tried to push through it. You told yourself you were simply tired or stressed, or going through a difficult stretch. But this was different from ordinary tiredness. And somewhere in you, you knew it. Your spirit was responding to something forming in the unseen realm around your life. There was a darkness approaching, and your soul perceived it before your mind had any framework to understand what it was sensing. I was speaking directly into that heaviness, drawing you toward me, urging you to come closer, to pray, to stay alert, to not ignore what your spirit was picking up. But life kept interrupting, and the heaviness eventually became something you adapted to, rather than something you responded to. And the warning passed, without the response it was designed to produce. And the 7th time I called you was in the quietest voice of all, a whisper so clear and so specific that some part of you recognized it immediately. Even as another part of you decided to look away from it, it said, "Return to me now. You cannot keep going like this." Something in you heard it. Something in you even wanted to respond. But you told yourself you would pray later. You would slow down when things settled. You would deal with this when the right moment arrived. But my child, the right moment never self-selects. Later kept sliding forward just out of reach. You were not turning away out of contempt or hardness of heart. You were overwhelmed and exhausted, and the world was so much louder than my whisper. But this 7th call was your final gentle warning, before I was required to speak in a way that could not be pushed aside or postponed. Receive that with the weight it carries. Let that truth land where it needs to land. I am speaking with this urgency because every one of those 7 moments met hesitation, distraction, or misunderstanding. Because what is forming ahead of you cannot be navigated without my covering. Because the purpose inside your life is too significant to be lost to missed warnings. Because your heart matters to me in ways that refuse to let me stay quiet while danger approaches. Every interruption you experienced, every delay that frustrated you, every loss that confused you, every warning you brushed past, none of it was random. All of it was my voice, reaching toward you through the circumstances of your life. But this message is not wrapped in symbols or hidden inside circumstances any longer. This message is plain. It is direct. It is urgent. My child, This is your wake-up call. This is the turning point you have been heading toward. This is your lifeline, arriving at the exact moment you need it most. Stay with me. This is the moment heaven has been moving toward. My beloved child, be as still as you can be right now and receive what I am about to say. Because this moment carries a weight that is unlike anything you have encountered before. This is not a message of general encouragement or comfortable reassurance. This is a direct intervention, sent with the full attention and full urgency of heaven, pressing behind every single word. I am speaking right now because something dangerous is taking shape around your life. Something that cannot be outrun by your own determination or avoided by your own cleverness. I am not saying this to send fear through you. Fear is not what I am after, and panic is not what this moment requires. I am saying this because preparation is love in action, because shielding someone before the storm arrives is the highest form of care I can offer. I stopped speaking softly because what is approaching does not respond to soft speech. I am speaking clearly because the distance between you and danger has grown shorter than you realize. You have been feeling it, even if you had no words for it. The pressure has been rising around you in ways that did not seem to add up to anything specific. You felt a heaviness that your sleep could not dissolve. Small things were landing on you with a disproportionate weight. The peace that used to be your default began retreating further and further from your daily experience. A confusion you could not entirely locate kept whispering at the outer edges of your thinking. These were not simply the ordinary difficulties of a difficult life. These were signals from the spiritual realms shifting around you. These were your spirit's attempt to communicate that something was forming that required your full attention. I saw it taking shape before you began to feel its edges. I watched it building layer by layer. I saw the strategy being assembled around your specific vulnerabilities, and I could not remain silent. My child, when you move through life without my guidance, you remove yourself from the covering that keeps what belongs to you protected. When decisions are made without listening for my voice, your feet can end up on roads that were never intended for your journey. When danger moves closer, every small drift from my presence becomes a potential opening that the enemy is watching for and waiting to use. That is why the tone of what I am saying has shifted. That is why the urgency you are sensing is real. This is not a general alert sent to everyone. This is a specific message delivered to you, because what is coming requires that you be fully present, fully connected to me, fully aware, and fully obedient, in a way that casual or fragmented faith simply cannot sustain. I am not speaking from a place of frustration with you. What fills my voice right now is something much closer to desperation born from love. I am not standing over you in disappointment. I am standing in front of you with my arms spread wide, trying to prevent something from reaching you. I am not here to condemn you for the moments you did not hear me. I am here because I refuse to watch you walk into what is forming ahead without doing everything love permits me to do. To stop it, you are mine. And that means I will not stand passively while the enemy sets up what he is setting up around your life. You need to understand that spiritual warnings are not punishments. wrapped in frightening language. They are gifts. They are evidence of a love that is paying close enough attention to see danger before it arrives. When I speak with urgency, it means a season is turning. It means a decision is approaching that carries more weight in the unseen realm than it may appear to carry in the visible one. It means the next several steps you take will either open something beautiful or close something that cannot easily be reopened. If you set this aside the way you have set other things aside, the consequences will not be because I withdrew from you. They will be because you walked past the protection I was trying to position around you. The enemy has been doing research on you. He has been cataloging where your strength has grown thin. He knows where emptiness has been quietly accumulating inside you. He has observed the doubts that visit you and the wounds that have never fully healed. He has noted the people whose opinions carry weight with you and the temptations that still manage to find their way through your defenses. He has been constructing something aimed precisely at the places where you are most exposed. He does not attack randomly. He attacks with strategy, and his strategy has been shaped around the specific contours of your life. But I am dismantling his strategy by exposing it. I am revealing the trap before it is fully set. I am illuminating the danger before it reaches you. Every detail of what he has been building, I see clearly, and I am telling you now, so that when it arrives, it does not find you unprepared and unaware. But if you fold this away into the category of things you will think about later, if you let the noise of everything else drown out what I am saying right now, you will step directly into what I have been trying to position you to walk around. You have been drifting, not because you made a deliberate decision to move away from me, but because the current of life has been strong, and your grip on what anchors you has been loosening gradually. You haven't been thriving. You have been surviving. And there is a significant difference between those two things. A heart that is merely surviving does not have the sensitivity to detect what a spiritually alert heart would catch immediately. A spirit that is running on empty does not have the discernment to recognize danger in the early stages when it is still avoidable. A soul in survival mode adapts to numbness in ways that feel like coping, but are actually forms of spiritual deafness. That is why the whisper was not enough anymore. That is why the tone of what you are receiving right now is bolder and more forceful than what you have been accustomed to from me. It is not because my love has hardened toward you. It is because the situation requires it, and because love that is genuine does not dial back its volume simply to be comfortable. When the one it loves is walking toward something, that will hurt them. My child, do not stand at this moment carelessly. Two paths are visible from where you stand right now, and they lead to very different places. One path leads you into protection, into clarity, into a breakthrough that has been building for longer than you know, into a covering that keeps what is precious to you safe. The other leads into confusion that compounds itself, into regret that arrives too late to prevent what it mourns, into heartbreak that did not have to happen, into suffering that my voice was trying to spare you from. You do not have the luxury of choosing blindly in this moment. The stakes are too high. and the choice is too real. And hear me also in this. Every hard word I have spoken today has love wound through the center of it. Every urgent warning I have delivered has tenderness wrapped around it. I do not expose danger to make you afraid. I expose it because I refuse to lose you to something I could see, and you could not. I do not raise my voice out of anger. I raise it because protection sometimes sounds like urgency. I do not speak of correction because I am keeping score against you. I speak of it because your destiny is too carefully crafted and too eternally significant to be allowed to drift into destruction without me doing everything within my power to prevent it. You are mine, and that is the most important truth in everything I have said. Because of that truth, I will go to lengths to reach you that would surprise you. I will shake things loose in your life, if that is what it takes to get your attention. I will intervene in ways that are uncomfortable, because comfort that leads to destruction is not something I am willing to offer. I will keep speaking even when you are not listening, because that is what love that refuses to give up looks like in practice. I am here. I am warning you. I am covering you with my presence even now, and I am completely prepared to lead you safely through everything that is coming. If you will stay close to me and trust the sound of my voice above every other sound competing for your attention, my child, draw very close to me now, because what follows needs to reach the part of you that lives underneath the surface, the part that does not appear in the version of yourself you present to the world. I am going to speak into the places you have learned to keep quiet, into the wounds that still ache, even though you have convinced yourself they are old enough to no longer matter, into the exhaustion you have worn for so long. It no longer feels unusual. Everything I am about to say comes from a heart that is entirely for you, not to expose you for the sake of exposure, not to call attention to your pain for any reason other than to bring genuine healing to it. I am reaching into these places because that is where my love needs to go. My beloved child, you are carrying a weight of emotional exhaustion that has been accumulating for a very long time. The responsibilities that have pressed themselves into your life did not all arrive by invitation. Some of them simply appeared and attached themselves to you because you were the one who showed up, the one who could be counted on, the one who kept going when others stopped. And you have kept going. You have kept functioning, showing up, pushing through. But what it has cost you has not been properly accounted for. You wake up already depleted. You move through the hours of your day, already running a deficit. You lie down at night still carrying what you carried when you got up. And the rest you manage to collect is never quite enough to restore what the previous day spent. You have mastered the appearance of holding things together, even as something inside you is slowly losing its coherence. You have learned to perform stability while feeling anything but stable. You smile through things that are genuinely breaking you down. You say you are fine in response to people who would not know how to respond to the truth, even if you offered it them. And so the real answer stays locked behind the acceptable one, and the weight just keeps building. I have seen every one of those moments, every forced smile while your heart was shaking, every time you bit back tears in a setting where tears were not permitted, every time you absorbed something that should have been met with honesty and instead tucked it somewhere inside where it joined everything else you have been storing. I have seen all of it, and I have not once looked away from you in disappointment. I have been watching with the eyes of someone who understands what is happening and who wants nothing more than to reach into it and lift it out. There is a numbness that has settled into you gradually, a quiet, heavy kind of muting that crept in so slowly you barely noticed it arriving. Things that used to produce genuine emotion in you now produce something blunted. Joy arrives, but does not stay long or go deep. Peace visits, but always feels slightly temporary, slightly borrowed, never fully owned. Hope is still present, but it feels more fragile than it used to, more easily threatened by circumstances. The things that once lit something alive in your spirit now produce a kind of muted response that you keep hoping will sharpen back into what it was before. This is not who you are. This is not your permanent condition. This is what happens to a spirit that has been in survival mode for so long that it began protecting itself by turning down the volume on everything, including the beautiful things. Your numbness is not a character flaw. It is your soul doing what it knows to do. When pain exceeds a certain threshold and rest never quite arrives to balance the account. But I do not want you in that muted place. I want you fully alive. I want the full range of what I placed inside you to be operational and accessible and real to you every day. There is confusion moving through you that you have been trying to resolve through thinking, and it is not resolving. The more mental energy you apply to it, the more tangled it becomes. You feel pulled in multiple directions simultaneously. The person you were and the person you sense you are becoming do not yet feel integrated into a single coherent whole. What you want and what you fear are pointed in nearly opposite directions, and trying to navigate between them has left you perpetually off balance. Your thoughts have been circling the same territory without landing anywhere that gives you genuine clarity or rest. This confusion did not originate in you. It came from the spiritual pressure that has been operating around your life. And because you have been running at a deficit for so long, your ability to filter out what is not from me and hold on to what is has been compromised. Clarity cannot find purchase in a mind that is already overwhelmed. I know you have been genuinely trying to discern my will. I know you have been asking and listening and searching for the direction that would make everything make sense. But the clarity you are looking for requires a stillness that survival mode does not produce. There have been moments when I gave you clear direction, and you heard it, and understood it, and still did not move immediately. Not because you were in rebellion, but because something in you was afraid of moving in the wrong direction. Because the cost of obedience felt uncertain, and the familiar patterns of delay felt safer than the risk of stepping out. I would whisper to let something go, and you would hold on just a little longer. I would nudge you forward, and fear would counter with reasons to stay put. I would open a space of stillness for you, and busyness would rush in to fill it. before you could inhabit it. My child, delayed obedience and missed protection are more connected than you have understood. Every time I call you to something, and you respond with later, what you are actually doing is stepping out from under the covering that comes with the prompt response. Not because I withdraw from you in anger when you hesitate, but because the protection was attached to the moment I was calling you into, and you were not in it. You have been moving away from the quiet places where my voice is most clear, not intentionally, not deliberately, but emotionally. Every time I drew you toward stillness, you felt a restlessness that made staying in it feel impossible. Every time I called you into honest examination, the discomfort of what might surface there sent you back into motion. Every time I came close enough to speak into the wounds, you found something urgent to attend to that allowed you to step back from the conversation before it could go deep enough to actually help you. You were not rejecting me. You were afraid of what healing would require you to face. But my child, the only thing that running delays is the relief you have been desperate for. You are tired in a way that goes deeper than your body. You are tired of carrying battles that feel invisible to everyone around you. Tired of being the strong one when your own foundation has been trembling. Tired of questioning your own worth in the quiet moments. Tired of reaching toward me in prayer and wondering if anything is actually happening on the other side of it. Tired of the spiritual dryness that you feel guilty about, even though it arrived through exhaustion rather than negligence. You stopped catching my warnings, not because you stopped caring, but because a spirit running this low on reserves simply cannot sustain the same level of spiritual sensitivity it carried in seasons of greater rest and greater peace. But hear what I am saying to you right now. I am not here to add one more weight to a load that is already more than enough. I am not standing over you with disappointment at what the exhaustion has produced in your spiritual life. I am here because I saw you sinking, and I came to pull you back up before you went under. I am here because I saw the numbness spreading, and I came to wake up what it has been covering. I am here because I saw the confusion building, and I came to speak clarity into it. I am here because I saw the danger forming, and I came to place myself between you and it. You may feel tired right now, but you are not abandoned. You may feel numb in places, but you are not forgotten by the one who fashioned those places with intention. You may feel lost inside the confusion, but you have never for a single moment been outside of my sight or outside of my reach. You may feel weaker than you have ever felt before, but you have never been without the one whose strength has no ceiling and no floor. Come back into closeness with me. Lean the full weight of yourself against me, and stop trying to hold yourself upright through sheer determination. Let me be the stability you have been trying to manufacture on your own. Let me breathe life back into the parts of you that have gone quiet. Let me restore what the long season of surviving has drawn down. Let me fill the silence inside you with the sound of my presence. I am not here to stand in judgment over what the exhaustion has made of you. I am here to lift you out of it and set you back on your feet and walk forward with you into everything that is still waiting for your arrival. My beloved child, let me come now into the places you keep the most carefully guarded, the ones behind the composed exterior, the ones you do not open for anyone. I am not forcing my way in, and I am not coming to drag what lives there into the harsh light of public examination. I am coming with gentleness and with the specific intention of healing what has been quietly damaging you from the inside for far longer than it should have been allowed to. You have done such a thorough job of convincing yourself that these things are managed, that the old wounds no longer have real authority over you, that the painful chapters are behind you, and their influence has faded with time. But my child, there is a difference between a wound that is healed and a wound that has simply been covered well enough that you stop noticing the ache until the quiet moments come. And there it is again, as present and as unresolved as it ever was. You have felt abandoned, not always in ways that had clear names or obvious stories attached to them, but in that wordless way that settles into the bones of a person who has reached out enough times to learn that reaching out does not always produce the response it reaches toward. You learned through experience to calibrate your expectations downward, to need less from people before they had the chance to demonstrate they couldn't deliver it, to carry your own weight before anyone could decline to help you carry it, to be self-sufficient, not as a strength, but as armor. But underneath the armor, the wound is still speaking. It still whispers at inconvenient moments that you are fundamentally alone, that the people who appear present will eventually prove to be temporary, that the safest assumption is the one that expects the least. Those whispers are not the truth. They are the residue of pain that was real and that never received the healing it required. I was present in every moment that contributed to that wound. I was there in every instance when you reached and found nothing. I did not look away, and I did not leave, and I have never left, not for a breath, not for a heartbeat, not for a single moment that felt the most empty. You have felt profoundly unheard. You have offered the real version of yourself, your actual thoughts, your genuine pain, your honest needs, and found too often that what you offered was either minimized or misunderstood, or simply not received with the care it deserved. You learned from that pattern to keep the real version of yourself at a safer distance from other people, to offer the summarized, slightly flattened version that was easier for others to process and less likely to result in the particular disappointment of being seen and still not truly understood. But inside you, the full version is still there, still wanting to be heard without being edited first, still longing for the experience of saying the true thing and having it received with the fullness it deserved. My child, every word you have swallowed rather than spoken has been heard by me. Every thought you decided was too complicated or too painful or too honest to give voice to has reached me completely intact. I have not missed a single thing your heart has tried to say. Every prayer that dissolved into silence before it was finished. Every cry that never made it out of the internal space where it started. Every question you carried alone because asking it felt too exposed. I heard all of it. You are carrying guilt that has become such a familiar companion. You may have stopped noticing how much weight it actually adds to every day. Guilt for decisions that still surface when the quiet arrives. Guilt for things you said in moments when you were not your best self. Guilt for things you failed to say when they needed to be said. Guilt for the people you were unable to help the way you wanted to. Guilt for the times you fell short of the version of yourself you were reaching toward. You have been your own harshest and most unrelenting judge in ways that no one on the outside would recognize, because you keep the courtroom entirely internal. But my child, the guilt you are carrying for things I forgave before you had even finished living through them is a chain that does not belong on you. I do not hold the record you hold against yourself. I am not reviewing what you review in your most honest moments and arriving at the same harsh verdict. You are forgiven completely, permanently, without reservation or asterisk. You are redeemed from the weight of what happened and what failed to happen and what you did and what you left undone. The chain is not locked. It is simply still being carried, because you have not yet fully believed that the key was handed to you. Let go of what I have already removed. It is not yours to carry any longer. Outro, warm, a tender, unhurried close. If you believe that your prayers are actively moving in the heavens right now, receive that truth, will hold it, and carry this message further than yourself, to someone who needs to know that the voice calling them has never stopped and will never stop.